Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Coming to you today to answer some questions on the conventional deadlift. Basically what you've seen here in a lot of our videos is that we like to use the Hex Bar when we deadlift here at Primal, and that's for a few reasons. First of all, it's very easy to teach, and second of all, to us here, it really doesn't matter what piece of equipment you use, whether it's a safety squat bar instead of a power bar, or whether it's a bamboo bar instead of a regular 45-pound bar for bench press, Hex bar, conventional power bar, or Olympic bar. It doesn't matter to us. Our goal for our athletes is to get them producing as much power into the ground as they possibly can. That's what's going to help them run faster. That's what's going to help them jump higher. The more power they can produce into the ground and the stronger they can get pulling something off the ground, the better they're going to be. To me, it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting stronger and you're staying with the same bar and you see progress, that means you're able to put more power into the ground. That means you are getting stronger at that movement, whatever it might be, whatever bar you're using. Now, with that being said, I also understand, and I'm not naive, I know that when my athletes graduate from high school and they go on to college, more than likely, their strength coach in college is going to have them using a 45-pound power bar or a Olympic bar to do their deadlifts and to do their cleans and things like that. So for the 3 or 4 months before they go to college, we transition from the Hex bar into a regular, 45-pound straight bar. And a lot of my athletes, when they first started out, they have some issues, they have some troubles. So I wanted to shoot a quick video today. If you might be going through something like that, if this is your freshman year of college, or if you're just walking into the weight room and your coach is having you do straight bar deadlift, I want to just give a couple of quick pointers, a couple of quick tips to help you transition better and learn how to deadlift with a straight bar a little bit better. Okay? So the first tip, we want to talk about the feet. Now, the placement of the feet, in my opinion, is extremely important. It's probably one of the most important things about deadlift. A lot of people, when they start to deadlift, they put their shins right up against the bar. I'm not a big fan of that. A lot of people will have the bar way out in front of their toes, and I don't like that either. Basically, I feel that when the shins are against the bar, a lot of times taller athletes like myself, guys over 6 feet tall, will sometimes get trapped under their knees. And in order to get past the knees, they have to tabletop. They have to put their butt up in the air and round their back. And at this point, you end up using a lot of lower back to finish the movement. I like to see the butt down as long as possible, driving with the legs. And in order to do that, we want the bar out a little bit away from our shins. Now, if the bar is over the toes or beyond the toes, when you reach down, you're going to be reaching forward for that bar. And as you pick it up, you're going to see rounding in the back, you're going to see your pelvis sort of rotate underneath you, and you're going to be putting yourself in a position where you're not going to have a lot of leverage to pull correctly, and you might be risking some big injury to your lower back. When I look down at the bar, I like to see that the bar is right over my shoelaces. Okay, this means that when I reach down to pick up the bar, it's going to be in the right position where I have great leverage and I'm able to get myself tight at the bottom of the movement and in a great position to pick weight up off the ground. The other thing, I like to see my feet, my ankles, my knees, my hips right in line. And a few reasons for that. Sometimes you'll see a sumo style deadlift with the athletes pulling with a really wide stance. I don't feel that that translates into the field of play as much. Yes, you still have to produce a lot of power into the ground, but it's very rare that you're going to see a sport where you have to be really wide stance like this. I like to see a conventional deadlift, if for nothing else more than an athlete will understand, hey, this is how I stand normally. This is very approximate to where I'll be in a power position, shooting a jump shot, hitting somebody, blocking somebody. You're not going to have your legs wide. Even if, for the fact that it kind of makes them understand and they realize and they see where it carries over into the field better, I'm a happy guy. Again, it's about how much power, how much force you put into the ground. So as long as the feet are where they need to be, as long as you feel comfortable, it's going to adjust and it's going to get tweaked a little bit depending on your height, the length of your arms, your flexibility, etc. This is where I like to go. These are just some tips to help you out a little bit. Now, once the feet are in position, the bar's over the shoelaces, is somewhere over the shoelaces. You're going to have to find what works good for you. And as long as those feet are underneath the knees and underneath the hips, we want to talk about addressing the bar. Now, when you address the bar, when you go to pick up the bar, we don't want to just round down with our back and grab and pull. I like to see the hips push back, of course, first. Think of like you had a big cowboy belt buckle. You're going to point that belt buckle to the ground. So we're going to rotate the hips back, the pelvis back. We're going to start to bend the knees and reach down for the ground. At this point, I want my arms as straight as possible. I don't want to get a really wide grip or a snatch grip on this bar. Again, we want to have the best leverage possible. And in order to do that, we want those arms as straight as possible. The straighter they are along the side of your body, the less you have to drop down to the ground. Again, it puts you in a better position to pull. If you have long monkey arms like I do and like a lot of other throwers and basketball players do, these long monkey arms, you might as well take advantage of that and use them, okay? So when we're down here at the bar, straight arms, and I like to see the elbow in contact with the knee. This is sort of a coaching cue that I use to push the knees out. A lot of times when guys lift, the knees will come in. We want to see those knees pushed out when you're in that position, okay? The other tip I want to give you is that as the weight gets heavier, you can certainly switch that grip up where you have an overhand, underhand style, either way, to stop that bar from rotating. Double overhand is tough. We've got some really light weight on the bar right now. So again, double overhand is the way to start. As the weight gets heavier, as your grip starts to give out, if your grip strength isn't keeping up with your deadlift strength, switch over to that overhand, underhand grip. The other thing that we want to talk about is as we lift, we want to clear the knees and start driving our hips forward. Now this is something you don't have to worry about too much with a hex bar, because a hex bar, it's a lot like squatting with the weight in your hand. Okay, that's what it feels like to me, is that at the top you just keep driving through the legs and eventually you stand up. Just like standing up out of a chair or standing up out of a box squat if you've got your feet really narrow. It's that same feeling, sitting up off of a toilet. It's the same feeling where you're not really using your hips, you're just standing up. With this, we really want to start driving our hips forward as the bar clears the knees. So we're going to show this to you real quick. As we get down, address the bar. We want our shoulders up. We want our head in. So we've got a little bit of a double chin. We never want to have the head down. Head in. As we lift, we take the slack on the bar. Get tight. Drive up. As we clear the knees, we start to push our hips in toward the bar. So we don't yank our shoulders back. We push the hips into the bar. To lower the bar, we're going to just take that movement and work backwards. We're going to push the hips back, point the belt buckle down to the ground, start to lower the bar. As soon as we clear the knees, we'll drop down, get tight, drive the hips into the bar at the top. Okay? Belt buckle down, lower the bar. The last tip I want to give you is something I have to show you from the side. Now, because the bar is over our shoelaces, what you'll notice is that when you reach down for the bar, your arms aren't going to be straight, just dangling from the shoulders. The hands are going to be in a little bit. And if you were to take a picture from the side, you'll notice that the hand is not even with the shoulder. The hand is inside of the shoulder a little bit. Just a little tip to give you better leverage, get you a little bit tighter at the bottom, and have a better pulling position when you're on the ground. So for those of you who might be transitioning from the hex bar into a straight bar, if you've never deadlifted before and you have a strength coach that wants you to start, if you're doing the Olympic lifts and you've never done them before, like cleans or clean and press, these are just some great tips to give you to make sure that when your time comes to use that bar, that you're getting your feet in the right position, the basics are there, and you're able to start pulling some weight off the ground with proper technique so you're not getting hurt. Guys, Coach Matt, Primal Athlete Training Center, Cranston, Rhode Island. Any other questions, guys, make sure you leave them in the comments section below, and we'll be sure to answer them right away for you. Thanks.